Good morning. Manchester City beat Man United 3-1 yesterday in the Manchester derby because Manchester is unequivocally blue, and it still feels very good to say that out loud. The sky is actually blue today as well over Manchester, which is lovely stuff. It's a glorious day. It always feels nice, doesn't it, the day after a Manchester derby when you know you've won. There's no stress, no anxiety, and you can just deal with that sore head, which I've definitely got. I am a tired boy today, but deal with it peacefully, without stress, without anxiety, just relaxed, and that's where we're at today. City yesterday absolutely deserving of the 3 points. A game obviously full of narrative and full of moments, a game full of tension, but ultimately an enjoyable game of football, and a stark reminder of Manchester City's dominance over Man United over the past more than a decade now, and it's been beautiful to witness. Immediately, guys, please do me a massive favour, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new here too. It does help support me and this channel more than you realise, and I appreciate you more than you could possibly realise too at the same time. So thank you for helping me by watching these videos. Give the video a like, subscribe as well. Right. The only place you can start with is Phil Foden. I've just put Foden's arrival. We didn't learn that this was happening, but I feel like if there was ever any confirmation needed that this transcendence from Phil Foden is permanent, I think this is it. Like, yesterday felt like another step towards the Phil Foden that we've all envisaged for an awful long time now. Yesterday felt like a step towards the final form of Phil Foden. He was absolutely wonderful yesterday. He really was. And it drew gushing praise from Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola said yesterday after the game that Phil Foden right now is the best player in the league. And that is as high praise as you get. I'm reading the quotes right now as well from Phil Neville. Phil Neville said he's a sensation. Really, really, really special. He's something that is completely different, and he would get into any team in the world. He's so cold. So cold. Gary Neville calling someone cold, by the way. Oh, he's cold. Mate, you're a boomer. Don't go there. Guardiola said he loves to play football. He lives for the moment. Football, training and playing games. It's his joy. His work ethic is unbelievable. What can I say? He's the best player right now in the Premier League. For the amount of things he does, he's unbelievable. Absolutely. He got man of the match, of course. And right now, basically, what I love in football, like, I remember when when Sterling left and Jesus left, and we were all like, oh God, we'd lost goals and experience there. Someone has to step up, and guess who did step up? Alvarez came in, Haaland came in, and Gundogan stepped up last season as well. And then when Gundogan left, everyone worried about who's going to get the goals from us from midfield and so on. And I always believe someone steps up. When you've got a great side, someone's going to step up. And I remember a few years ago, it was Gundogan in the false nine role, or Phil in the false nine role, or someone goes on some form to drag you through it because we're just too good. And right now, it's Phil Foden. Phil has taken that senior mantle in the absence of Mahrez, in the absence of Ilkay Gundogan, and he stepped up. It's his 7th season, I think, around the first team now. I don't know, but he's only 23 years old. But his experience, that youthful face and that youthful age, belies an experience there that's been earned through success and exposure to some of the best players in world football, and of course the best coach in world football. And Phil right now, he's not just a talented footballer. I think he's truly transcended into that elite status. He's always been pushing world class, if not world class, but now I'm talking truly elite, at the very top table of football. That is where he is now. He's in the conversations with your Gundogans and your De Bruynes. He's going to be a Manchester City legend, and he's going to be the natural heir apparent to Gundogan or De Bruyne or someone like that. And it's so wonderful to witness that development of a guy, as Guardiola said, world-class players just win you games themselves. That's the difference. That is the difference. And Phil Foden is in that level now. The quality of those goals and what it means, lovely stuff. Likewise, remarkable Johnny Stones. I just put remarkable Stones. I saw a tweet from my good friend Nabil over at City Report yesterday when he said, let me just find the exact quote. I want to read it because I think it's a good quote. If you're watching, mate, hello. And Nabil said, we've become too desensitized to John Stones playing as a number 8 from central defence. That ain't normal, man. It isn't normal. It absolutely isn't normal. And it's a very good point. And we need to take it on board, because John Stones right now is doing something truly special. Like, you don't see what John Stones is doing very, very often, like, if at all. To play as centre-back, as he is playing at centre-back, but then to be a roaming false eight, to be on the left-sided pockets, the right-sided pockets. He's absolutely everywhere on the pitch. He's playing a role of immense complexity, of immense diligence and patience, and immense technical requirements. Like the focus it takes and the understanding of the game state to do what John Stones is doing right now is just truly insane. It really is. And I think there's a good argument right now for John Stones being the most intelligent player in world football. That might sound like hyperbole, but I swear it isn't, because what he's been asked to do, the very unique set of tasks that he's been asked to do, it's just sort of special. And Stones right now is a truly elite player, like an absolute top level footballer of the highest quality. We are simply better when John Stones is there, and there's an argument to be said that him and Rodri are maybe our most important players right now. I don't know, but Stones, if he can stay fit, he's the key. He really is. Remarkable. I've done this one a billion times, but I'm going to use it again because it's a simple pun. Silver is gold. Silver's gold. I saw a cracking stat yesterday as well. It's brilliant stuff. Like, how many players would have the most key passes? 7 key passes, the most interceptions, 4, and the most dribbles completed in the same game. So the most dribbles, the most key passes, and the most interceptions in the same game. When Bernardo Silva is needed, Bernardo Silva gets going. In the big games, in the big moments, Bernardo Silva is there. That man is so ridiculously reliable to turn up at this time of year, because Bernardo Silva is the man for any occasion. He's so versatile. That man is... he's special. He's absolutely special. You can play him on the right, you can play him on the left, you can play him as a number 6 alongside Rodri, you can play him as an 8, as a 10, as a false 9. He's just as a left back. He's just so versatile and so intelligent. Like yesterday, I was looking at his heat map. He was all over the pitch. Like Guardiola had him in the middle, had him on the right. And then he asked him to do a shift on the left at one point. And he's just so good at knitting everything together, keeping the ball, dribbling past people. The key passes were there, the work rate, the interceptions. Look, it feels weird to say Manchester City is underrated. And Bernardo Silva is still pretty much loved in the footballing world, but he's still somehow underrated. There is no one quite like him. A genius. And people like him knit a team together. Essential player of immense quality, and I'm glad he's ours. Next one is a reasonably negative one, but it's also a call for, reason, and call for logic, and a call for patience. I've just put Daku's dip, because I think it's fair to say he is in a little bit of a dip right now, It's expected. For me, there's a hype and bust cycle, and then the levelling out. Like, obviously, we were all so excited when Daku arrived. I was buzzing. He was so electric. He was beating people for fun. But then it feels like things have slowed down a little bit. He's tried to learn the ways, and he's dipped his form. His confidence has dipped a tiny bit. The point I'm going to make here is Daku's dip is normal. It's absolutely fine for a young player, for any player actually, when you join a team, to have that hype and then that sort of dip, and then it's very normal, and then settle hopefully somewhere near the top of that dip. Yeah, top of that peak, so to speak. And I think right now, Daku he's obviously such a talented player, but he's close to sort of like that bit where he needs a break from the team, I would say, right now, where he needs to take on all the information that he's got and not force it a little bit, rediscover a little bit of his excitement, because he's definitely struggling a tiny bit. He's struggling a tiny bit right now in terms of finding his game. He's not beating people as naturally. I think teams are definitely doubling up on him an awful lot more. Like, it's very obvious now when he gets the ball, there's 3 people around him. And I think a lot of people are not really understanding how difficult it is to develop in the Premier League at that age in a new system. It takes time. We've got to be patient for him. I've already seen people say, oh, he's not that good, really. We were all overrated him, and he's actually just a naff player. Like, come on, man. Like, when are you going to learn not to judge a player based off their first season at Manchester City, especially when we've seen some really high highs as well? He's in a bit of a dip of form, but it's fine. We need to be calm. The final thing I want to talk about, there was multiple things. I want to talk about Rodri a little bit. I also want to talk about Alvarez's impact from the bench being a little bit, or even to look forward ahead to Liverpool and the importance of that game. But they didn't feel like the point that I wanted to take from it. I wanted to just burr a little bit harder. I wanted to talk about Man United and Man City. So I put mind the gap. I wanted to talk about that truly enormous gap, because it's so satisfying. And I think we know about it, but sometimes we get a real kind of vivid reminder after a Derby day, that how much better we are than them. And it's ridiculous. Like, they are, without a doubt, that was probably the worst team I'd seen come to the Etihad this season in terms of like negativity. They really were. Like, they were not the worst, still very close to it. Like, we had a harder challenge against Brentford, Bournemouth, Chelsea, all these other teams. United, I don't know how they are 6. a little bit of individual quality here and there, but they do not deserve to be there by any stretch of the imagination. And the standards are absolutely the mud. Ten Hag coming out and saying that they were good. Like, what were... They had the Rashford goal, which was not a chance. That was a moment of brilliance. They had a couple of counters where, you know, Rashford messed up his touch. And then, of course, the back post from what he messed up. But other than that, there was nothing. Absolutely nothing. They were genuinely nowhere near good enough. And the fact that you've got the fans now pleading for some Kyle Walker foul, which is the softest thing in the world. Even Ten Hag said it was the softest thing in the world. And acting like Ederson didn't get the ball cleanly. He did. It shows just how low the levels are. And I love it. Can I be really honest with you? I absolutely adore it. I adore their absolute nonsense approach to football and how bad they are right now. I adore their ineptitude and their subservience to Manchester City's better quality. I adore the fact that they are so badly put together and organised, even with the injuries. I adore them being terrible. Make the most of it, because at some point that gap will get smaller. But right now, you could fit the Etihad Stadium through it. It's absolutely massive. They are terrible, we are brilliant, and Manchester is unequivocally blue, and it feels so nice to say that out loud. Guys, thanks for watching this video. Do let me know the 5 things that you took from the game down below. Go watch my very passionate match reaction from last night, and as I said, I will do a fan view live tonight, unless anything happens, childcare reasons why. I'll do a fan view live tonight, chat to you guys, because I'm very curious to see what you thought after the game. In a bit, come on you Blues, like the video, subscribe, bye-bye.